Hello there Annette, it's Guy at Rove Motorhomes, hope you're very well. So just a quick handover video, just going to recap the bits that we show you when you pop into us. So we'll get started. Obviously you've got your fuel here, ignition key to open that and then top her up accordingly. And in there, whenever you need to top up the AdBlue, that's done in there. You will get a notification on the dashboard regarding that when it's required. When you're adjusting the seats, when you sat in them, this does the front section up and down, and this one does the back up and down. Can't use your own weight to go up and down with it. And your bonnet release is just here. Underneath this passenger seat, there is a kit in there that's got stuff like towing eye and a wheel jack. And then under the bonnet, top left is where your washer fluid is for the windscreen wipers. You top your engine oil up just there. That metal bolt sticking out, the big middle one, that's the negative terminal for if you ever need to jump start the vehicle. And then just here, that is for the positive terminal. Coming around, when it comes to water and motorhomes, you've got 3 drain off points, which effectively when it's coming to winter and you need to drain off all the water to avoid any potential frozen pipes. Now you've got the wastewater, which is just there, this grey tap, twist and open. So any water that you've run through the shower or any of the taps in the sinks, that will drain just there. There's another drain off point for the freshwater tank, and then there's also one for the boiler, which is on the inside, which I'll get round to shortly. In here, this is your toilet cassette. Release it by pulling out, pull the whole cartridge out, and you can empty it accordingly and clean it as and when required. These are just your fridge appliance vents to keep everything breathable. In here, you've got access to the electric hookup, which is plugged in, and the leisure battery is housed in there. And then on the subject of water, this is where you fill up the freshwater tank. So hose pipe in and fill her up accordingly. On the control panel, you are able to see the levels. Don't worry if you ever pop in to make a cup of tea and if you forget. But effectively, there is an overflow on the tank, so you'll never need to worry effectively about water spilling into the motorhome. In there, you've got access underneath the island bed. And then you've got some bars here, should you ever wish to get fitted a bike rack or back box. The hard work's done with that. Up there's the camera for the rear camera system. And then coming round in here, you've got gas bottle storage. So again, when you're travelling, have that twisted to closed. And then obviously when you want to use it, it needs to be open. That's the freshwater release valve. So we're filling it up at the back. That drains that freshwater tank just there. Obviously the waste on the other side, and then inside you've got the boiler drain off valve. So again, just to recap on winterization, we do it when it's getting towards winter and colder months, especially if you're not using the van. It's good practice just to drain off all the water to avoid any potential frozen pipes. Here is an external gas point for you. And then you do have a Fiamma F45 wind out canopy. Again, it's just a case of getting the hook onto here, twisting it, and it'll come out so far. You drop your legs to take some weight, and then you can get it out to a point where you're comfortable and you can relax under it. Again, when it is high winds or windy even, just get it in. Better to be safe than sorry. Even if it's pegged down, it could potentially cause issues. But again, the legs that are in the middle, that support the actual canopy, when you're winding it out, just make sure that there is also a bend in there, because if it goes completely straight, then you'll struggle to get it back in. You've got this arm bar, so again, using the keys, that can be security on the door or assist you to get in and out. While we were on the subject of water and drain off points, so we know where to drain the fresh and the wastewater and to fill up the fresh tank. That yellow switch just back there, if you twist that, that will drain any water that's within your boiler. So now we're inside. This is your main control panel at the top. So when you're not using, press that button, that will turn absolutely everything off. So you won't have any lights on, you won't get any power to any of the sockets or anything like that. But obviously turn it on when you want stuff to be on. That light there, that's just like a cut-off point for all the lights, but the power will still work. So if you want to plug stuff in, use your appliances, they'll still work. More so at night time if you just want all the lights off. But again, all the lights do have their own individual switches. That switch is just for the awning light. And that one there is for the water pump. So that requires to be on for any water to come out of the taps, basically. But again, I've got hot water on. So again, you'll probably start to see some steam coming off this. That is very hot. But again, you'll feel that when you pop in. You see the steam coming just off of it now. These are your levels. Battery levels, full. Water levels, about half full. And that's it. On, off, water pump on, light cut off, outside light, battery levels, water levels. Nice and simple. This is your heating and hot water. So if you want hot water, you've got water heating. And if you want heating, you've got heating. And you just use these buttons to select through the source of the power. So you've got gas or electric or a combination of both. So at the minute, we're on 2 squiggly lines, which is electric. So 2000 kilowatts, 2 squiggly lines. You've got 1 squiggly line, which is 1000 kilowatts. Basically, the difference between 1 and 2000 kilowatts is effectively the more power that you use, the hotter things get faster. If you want gas, so if you're off grid, that flame is just gas on its own. So if I want hot water and I've not got access to electric hookup, use your gas. So you've got heating for your water on gas. Or you can use a combination of gas and electric, 1000 and 2000 kilowatts. So if you use gas and electric at the same time, both power sources, things will get hotter faster. This is just an option that you can leave on just to keep everything sort of warm. So you might go out for the day, you don't want the heating on, but when you get back in, you don't want to start it all from zero. So you can just leave it on that frost symbol and it'll just keep everything sort of ticking over at a medium temperature, just so that when you come to turn it on, it doesn't take too long to come on. But again, electric 1000 kilowatts, electric 2000 kilowatts, gas on its own, and then gas and electric 1 and 2. And then now it's in the off position. I'm going to pop it back onto electric, and then it's exactly the same for your heating. So you've got your lines for electric, you've got gas, and you've got gas and electric. Nice and simple. This is the thermostat all the way up, that red line there, that's around 30 degrees. And you come all the way down towards here, which is somewhere between 5 and 10. Crescent moon is like a nighttime mode, so it'll keep, again, everything nice and warm, but on a low level noise. And then you've also got the same function there where you can keep all the elements warm if you're out for the day and you want to pop back in and get everything hot fast without starting from zero. But basically, heating and hot water, gas or electric or both. Gas coming through on the system. Obviously we can see that we've got gas on the system. Fridge, this is a 3-way fridge. Push and hold this to turn it on and off. And if I press mode, you can choose between electric hookup, gas or vehicle battery. Electric hookup when you're plugged in, gas when you're not plugged in. Vehicle battery will just maintain the temperature of the fridge if you're traveling a long distance. It won't get it cold from zero because there's not enough power in a vehicle battery to do so. But again, get it cold on gas or electric before you travel if you're doing a multiple hour journey. And then you can flick it to vehicle battery when the engine's on, and that will just keep the fridge maintained at a temperature. Again, you can control the temperature here. Minimum is the least coldest, maximum is the coldest. And yeah, that's it. Nice and simple. Coming into the bathroom, obviously we've got all water coming through nice and fine. That's your flush. Again, you can just see that we've filled with water. Trapdoor there, that opens it through to the toilet cassette. But yeah, nice and easy. Lovely motorhome. Hope you enjoy it. Anything that you need moving forward, give us a call and we'll be more than happy to help.